Mm. Welcome back to the Queen Rising podcast. Today, we're going to talk about 5 signs you're more financially vulnerable than you actually think. Now, you might be thinking, this does not apply to me. I have a job, I have an account, but financial vulnerability just isn't about just being broke. It's about what would happen to you if everything changed tomorrow? What would happen if you lost your job? What would happen if your source of income suddenly disappeared? And for most women right now, you don't actually know. Now, I didn't actually think I was in a vulnerable place financially. I was married. We had a good life. We were living in a house. I drove a nice, decent car that got me where I needed to go. And for the most part, we were pretty comfortable. And that might be where you are. However, being financially vulnerable is about access, control, and having options. You may have your own income and still be vulnerable. Now, when I got with my husband, I had a career, I had a job, I had my own income, my own bank account. And being a stay-at-home mom is not something we just decided. It's something we were thrown into. And the truth is, I never thought I would be put in a place that I was in. So here are some signs that you are financially vulnerable and you may not know it. If you don't actually have a full financial picture, credit score, how much debt you have, how much income is coming in, the monthly flow, what's coming in versus what's going out, what's left in the bank account every single month. Number 2, if the majority of your income flows through someone else, like your partner, and or it goes through their account and you need approval to access it. Sign number 3, you don't actually have a savings account with only your name on it and only you can access. Number 4, you stay in situations longer than you want to. Situations, relationships, jobs, living arrangements, because you can't actually afford to leave. Number 5, the thought of handling your own finances produces shame or anxiety, not just stress, but dread. I'll never forget years ago, I heard Susie Orman say something to the effect of, if you're a stay-at-home mom, you should have equal access to all the family income. No, it's not just his income, because you are also part of the family dynamic and you're also doing work in that family dynamic, even if you're just staying at home and you're being unpaid. Hearing her say that stopped me dead in my tracks, because here I was, a stay-at-home mom. I had no access to income, no access to bank accounts, and I felt bad for asking. I was not valuing my own contribution. Everything, I gave up a career so that I could be home with our children and all that comes with. And here's the thing most stay-at-home moms don't recognize is unpaid labor is still labor. You're still working and you still have a right to access all of the family income. You have just as much right to access family income as what your partner does, who actually goes out and earns. Now, I don't want you to think you have to fix all of this today. Just reflect on which of these apply to you, if any, or maybe all of them. You should know where you stand. Ignorance isn't protection, it's exposure. The first act of financial liberation is looking at it. Now, I made something very specific If you are in this situation or just curious, it's the Financial Liberation Checklist. It is a $1 PDF self assessment. It's going to walk you through exactly where you stand and the steps you need to take moving forward. It's not overwhelming, it's just honest and it's clarity. So you can grab it for $1, go through it, and get the financial clarity you need around where you are at right now and what your next step is.